Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben, and my camera froze. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, give me 1 second. Uh, uh, it was all working so great, and then it wasn't. Um, this works for now, so I'll have this up. So good morning, everybody. We're working on some. Hello, Missy. We're working on some design stuff still. For the Rockbreaker, I'm gonna mess with the camera for a second. Hopefully, I can just get rid of it and re-add it. So how is everybody doing? It's only showing 2 cameras. Well, that camera works, but this one I was taking off the tripod. Yeah, I don't know why this stopped working. It was working when I started everything. Well, I was fine until this all started because OBS is a piece of garbage. This cannot handle anything. So I'll create a new one. Face again. And see if it finds the camera. It doesn't. So it can't, whatever reason, can't find the camera. So what we'll do is this camera works okay. So we'll copy this for now and put it up here. And put it up on the thing. Because I don't want to restart OBS. There we go. That's fine for now. I'd rather it be a little more zoomed in than that, but whatever. So hello. Let's see what looks better over here. Nope, looks better right there. I can't tell to zoom in or anything, so you're just going to see more of me than anybody cares to see. So definitely need a haircut. I also need to flip this for now. There we go. All right, now we're rolling. So, real quick, I wanted to, I guess I wanted to show this a little bit. We did a white elephant gift exchange kind of thing at our holiday party, and I ended up with the Lego book. I need to cut this, cut the ribbon off of this. And a couple Dimensions figures, which is kind of cool because I never got into Dimensions. Is everything else all right? Is the sound okay? And can you hear some kind of music in the background? Oh, Mr. Bill, you tape. Okay. Tape stuff to a book. Ruin the cover and the box. Some people. So yeah, I got a Lord of the Rings figure. Got Dimensions, Lord of the Rings, and then something I have zero of. Can't hear music. that? It's supposed to be like subtle in the background. Bart Simpson with a little Bart like car of some kind, like a Pinewood or like a go-kart. And then the Ultimate Lego book. This is a book you can't really get anymore. It's an older book. It was published, I think, in the 90s. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, 1999. So the Ultimate Lego book. I don't think I have this one. But it's super cool. So I'm very excited about it. Yeah, so that's that. So we had a good time at the party. A couple people were there and then left, so they didn't get their swag. I was a little kind of flummoxed about that because I'd said like right off the bat, I'm like, now everybody go grab your stuff, and everybody just kind of looked at me like, I'm like, this box is over there. Go find your name, grab your thing, and like 5 people did. So then I had to like hand out stuff. Anyway, and then the after party was non-existent. It was me and Will. But it was a couple new people there. There was one new person, like completely new. This was their first meeting, and I thought that's an interesting meeting to be your first one. And then they had to leave right away, so I wasn't able to really talk to them anymore. But they seemed like a good kid, literally, because they couldn't. They were from Dallas, and they couldn't go to the Dallas meetings because they were. They weren't 18 yet, so they are going to school down here now, and they're like, yep, now I can come to meetings. I'm like, well, we're glad to have you. Let's get this one. And there's another one on here. It was really good. So it was fun. We had some snacks and handed out loot and got to meet a couple new people. And there was there was a young girl who was there who was really cute, and she had a fashion show. She was a maybe 9-year-old, 8-year-old, something like that. Leather jacket. She was absolutely precious. She built a fashion show or a movie. It's one of those where kids are like, you can tell it's kind of a kid fantasy because they don't want to like really commit to anything. They're like, it's a fashion show or a movie. It's like, okay. So one thing I've noticed is I don't think I'm really getting the thickness of the neck going here. I feel I need more under here. That might show up later when I'm trying to do these chains underneath it. I might add some bulk to that, and hopefully... Oh, you know what would be good? Yeah, it was a good MOC, too. It was really... had a lot of figures and a lot of creativity, and... I thought it was great. And then we had another lady show up who totally made a splash. Literally, she had an island... she and I talked a lot because she had mentioned she was a Doctor Who fan. So me and her and one other guy talked Doctor Who for a real long time. But she made an island. She made it was like several base plates big, like maybe 4x3 base plates big. But they weren't all base plates. Some of them were smaller, 16x32s. But they were all modular. They were all in sections, so it was easier to transport. But it was if the Lego movie universe, so all the cities and places they visit in the Lego movie, were on a Animal Crossing island. So you start with your own house, right? An Animal Crossing. So that's what she had. And then so the island was all built. It was all blue with the island kind of raised up a little bit. And then she's going to add different sections from the Lego movie as if they were the towns that you visit in Animal Crossing. And she's like, now I wanted to do this with a Doctor Who theme, but I think that was crossing too many streams. You know, Animal Crossing Island, it looks like the Lego movie, but it's related to Doctor Who moments. I'm like, that's one too many, I think. So I am 100% tempted to go back and take all the hinges out because it can't. This is really hard to make it bend without. I'm trying to remember how. Something this thick too. Like if you look at how big the neck is, where's that one? There's one image, and I always close out these images because I want to close the browser. But that's a good one. How big is that? That's not the one I want, though. And then there was another mock was the Charlie Brown tree with the ornament hanging down. That was really good. Couple like kind of scenic looking ones. One lady was like, because we had to use squirrel, we didn't have to, but squirrels were the seed part. So people are doing like yards with squirrels in them and stuff. Oh, that's a good shot of it lunging. It's pretty good. Maybe it doesn't need to be large. Maybe any. There it is. That's not very big. That's a pretty good one. I think that's the one I was looking at. Yeah. All right. So the thickness and like just kind of robustness of the neck, I think I'm missing in here. I think it's okay, but I think it could definitely do with some extra. I don't ever want to go back to OBS. It keeps going back to OBS. All right, so I think I'm going to hold off on fixing this for now, and I might do some arm stuff. Let's make all this the same. So it was a fun party. I got to meet people, got to see people that I haven't seen in a while, so that's cool. What does this look like? This is all. Why don't I just mirror all this? I felt a little bad because again it was in a library and it was kind of not last minute, but we kind of had to make do because our normal holiday party place was unavailable. But I think it went okay. Had some pizzas, had some snacks, and everybody got some loot. All right, so his arms are actually kind of a little diminutive. By comparison. So first of all, we need to get a hinge on here, or a joint. This may be too big, a joint. And again, I don't remember which one's the cheaper one. I think I'd like to do one of these again. Unless that's too long. I don't know how many joints this has. Like one, it's hard to tell. Shoulder, definitely. But maybe just this arm right here. So like 1, 2, like 2. I mean, I'm okay with just 2. And then I can use these parts to attach other things onto it so it moves easier. But let's see if we can find out how many joints it really has. It's almost impossible to see from any of these angles. So 2 times insider points is currently going on with Lego. Started on the 12th. No. That's all right. Started on the 8th. And we'll go to the 12th. So if you haven't made any purchases yet, you get 2 times points. And then the gift with purchase. I did get 1 gift with purchase. So I got my white elephant gift was a couple cups of Pick-a-Brick parts, which I thought was great. And then I got myself some Pick-a-Brick wall stuff. And this is all stuff that I think I could use for the Horizon stuff. It's just like tan plates, some 1x5 in nougat in there, some green plates for landscaping. I got some gold leaves, and then some teeth, some different barbs and teeth for machines and stuff. But this is one of the gift with purchases, is the ornaments, and I heard they're really fun to put together. So if we had a tree up, I'd put these together, but I might save it. I don't think I'm doing folk today. I think folk is... Oh, excuse me. Nope. Let's do that. See how that works. Yeah, so 2 times insider points, so go get you some of that. 300. None of these are very big images. 300. That music's a little loud. That's a dead one. Can I tell what its joints look like, though? It really only looks like 2 joints. Like one up in the shoulder, and then one right there. But like it's just a mess of metal. Like how do you even tell? And I think these ball joints would be fine because they'll twist a little bit. You'll be able to kind of rotate its claw and stuff. Yeah, that's probably fine. Let's just do that. This may be a little large, though. Is there one that's smaller? Like that size. That may not be long enough. So the bottom of that goes below. Yeah, I guess that first one was probably fine. Once we bulk it up, it'll probably look all right. And then let's knock it back a little bit. I don't know what the glowing things are in its hands, but we'll figure it out. So I need a Technic ball. And I think I want it because that's one. This is another one. Thought those fit. Yeah. The only problem with this is it doesn't let them go like all the way, and it doesn't twist all the way. So maybe this isn't great. All right, let's think about this for a second. All this has to do, it has to go back and forth and kind of up and down and rotate. So, I mean, this is a pretty good one, but maybe there is a better option. And it does have to support it. Like, this thing lays on the ground for the most part, so it doesn't have to, like, support its weight. It mostly lays on, like, its elbows and its belly for the looks of it. So maybe instead of this guy, we actually do. We'll do this, because that way it'll give us a little more flexibility for underneath it, what we want to do. So what's everyone's plans today? What do you got planned for Sunday? We're like getting close to the time of year when like school's out, work's done. People are starting to take times off. These are the holiday party weeks, as we like to call them. I am looking forward to the week between Christmas and New Year's, because I'll have like 10 days off. Actually, white is probably pretty good. Let's stick with that. Actually, no, let's darken it and then we'll put white stuff over the top of it. Zisoo! Welcome. Yes, thanks for being here. Everyone being me and Missy and you now. So thanks for coming. Let's go these in dark gray. They're all available in dark gray. Which one is the cheapest? 17 cents, 17 cents, 25 cents, 8 cents. So I guess it's that one. Honestly, though, this tapered one looks... I like this one the best. Yeah. 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 So I don't really care that it's expensive. Let's use that one. No, Johnny's actually at Steel City Comic Con. I think they're doing a display out there, so he messaged me. Or he chatted earlier about it, and he's not going to be able to be here on the stream, so no worries. So the thing that I've noticed too is like the arms are real skinny. So maybe this other joint will be a ball joint. So let's get one of those toe balls. Toe ball plates. And we'll do this under here, like that. And it will be held by, so this will have to be in whatever color it comes in. So I'm guessing, so here's what I'm thinking. There's a joint here, then maybe another one here, and then another one here. But I'm having a hard time. And then this is one big paw. So I'm going off the idea that there are 3 joints in here. I may be wrong, because I can't really tell from any of the images. And I played the game the other day, and I had to go find a Rockbreaker and like just let it crawl around me and kick my butt and stuff. So I could try to do. You've got an ability while you're shooting where you have concentration. So if you like hold down R3, it'll slow everything down for a second so you can get a good shot. I do this because that's her weapon of choice is a bow. And so like I was trying to like go from the side and wait for it. I had to time it to wait for it to jump and then slow down. So I could kind of see every time it jumps though, its arms go all the way back. It just like, and then it goes face first, drill first into the ground. And then when it's in there, it does the naked mole rat pushing the dirt next to it. But I couldn't really tell a lot of extra details that I can't see from these photos. It was too quick. But this looks like there's going to be some armory stuff here. So we'll just do, let's do, kind of want to do brackets. With Breaking the Gore today, I found an Aloy torso and legs for only $2 each. Wow. That's pretty cool. I want to get some, I want to get more. I've got to start shopping for, just go online and find like heads with face paint, torsos that look like Aloys, just kind of fantasy, but also like tribal, but maybe with some armor. What's up, Matt? Matt, you had said video game console, right? Or video game truck. Let me make sure I didn't write that down. Yeah, I didn't write you down at all. I guess I just blanked on that. All right, hang on. So we have, I think we only have one Matt in the group. Matt. Video game truck. So now I've done it. So AFall day or next meeting, or if you want to just come over and pick it up, just let me know and it'll be here for you. So I do apologize for that. Let's make this a curved, inverted curve slope. That may have been one where like I got it while I was looking at something else while I was in bed or something. I was like, yeah, I'll get to that later. I just never did. That needs to be dark gray. Actually, what's 29 cents? Yee. Black. There we go. That's better. How you doing, Matt? How are things? You recover from your from the lug party, okay? Uh, 2x3 tile. Cool. Thanks for coming out yesterday. Tile round. And then let's do a grill plate. Oh, that was another news item. Yes, thank you, Zissou. And this is something I told the lug about. The Bricks and Pieces standard is closed until probably mid-January. We don't have a resumption date from the LAN yet, but it is to give the see, I think that's too big. Now it's to give the best sellers will still be you can still buy bestsellers. They're not guaranteeing shipment by Christmas, but you can still get bestsellers. The standard they're shutting down so they can have other things focused on, so they can have their shipping group focused on getting stuff to people by Christmas, and giving some people time off for Christmas so they're not overworking people. I went to the LBR after the meeting and picked up 5 Pick-a-Brick cups of stuff. Nice. Cool. All right, I already don't like that. I need to be able to cover the joint with it. So, which is going to be hard to do. And this sits over the top, so that's about as high as I want it. That lines up with the eyes, and I've tried to line that up with the eyes. This will be built on top of it, so maybe we can, and the arms don't have to like go crazy, they just have to go back and forth. So let's try something else. This is good setup, but I'm going to take this over here. And God, I'm not convinced this is 2 joints. I wish I could tell what that was. So it seems like there's a joint in here because you can see the tendons going to it. And this is a joint here. But I think that's just... Oh, no, that is. So then there would be... Let's do that again. One under there. So there is a joint here. But I can't tell. Yeah, so... Joint in the shoulder, joint at the elbow, joint at the wrist. So shoulder, elbow, wrist. Did they have some of those brown stems? The 3 brown stems for plants. We had, is that what it? And white headlight bricks. So this is what I got. Yeah, so we had some, but they were mixed in with the red and yellow flowers. They didn't have just the stems. Oh, and they weren't brown either. I'm sorry. They were green. They didn't have just the brown ones. Boy, this lady taped the bejesus out of this. So I got something from like every drawer because I filled up 2 cups of just randomness for the Dirty Brickster, the white elephant. That was my white elephant gift. It was 2 cups of parts, and I don't remember seeing that. Like I said, there was a drawer that was yellow and red flowers, and they had. You could kind of dig your hand through it and like 2 or 3 green stems would pop up, but I did not see brown stems. And I don't think I got any either. I don't want to open this. Why am I opening this? One thing I did get that was kind of cool, and you can kind of, well, that's going to be sorted later. Well, now that it's open and dumped out. Yeah, so I got some of these gold leaves. I got a lot of these for some reason, these fishing lines. Fishing reel plates in this spring green. I just thought that was such a weird color. I'm like, these would be great for trees. So I got a ton of them. Well, not a ton, but a handful. And also, what else did I get? What are these? Oh, green slopes, which I don't think I have a lot of. 1x2 green slopes. They had a lot of those. Those are also good for landscaping. And then 1x5 nougat plates. So, and then kind of like regular stuff after that. Some just big green plates, some 2x4 tans. I mean, I got some really boring stuff, but like stuff that I think I might need. versus, oh, that's a cool thing, I'll just get a bunch of that for later. And now I got to clean all that up because I just dumped the box over. Yeah, I didn't get any white. I thought about getting white, and I was like, maybe I'll do a snowy section because I'm trying to do like the biomes of Horizon Zero Dawn, which is basically Colorado into Utah, into Nevada, into California. And she does go through a lot of snow. So I thought, well, I'll have like the ocean out in the front. The whole plan is to have like a seafront or a lakefront here. And then it kind of goes back into like regular mountainous country that's like kind of brown and tan a little bit. And then as it goes over to one side, it goes a little more green and then gray as it gets into like the mountains. And on the other side, it's a little more flowery, but then turns into like red desert. So so the mountains might have a little snow on them. But I don't know how far back I want to go with that. That's the general idea. What I need to do is get with that lady who was there with the island and have her help me plan the map out because she seemed to be doing really well with that. All right, back to this. So I like the strength of this joint, but it's also limiting in like what I can attach to it. Like if I attach this, the arm has to go down. I can't really put anything on top of it. Like I don't have a corresponding like plate with the socket on the bottom of the plate where I can kind of put stuff around it. So maybe not these big joints. But they have to be like pretty sticky enough to where it can hold its form and stuff. Oh, what else? What else could you do? I mean, there's these little toe ball joints, but they're kind of small compared to the rest of these. There's these joints, so it's these guys. And then if I can find the compatible, this has always been a challenge to find the compatible joints for this. This, right? Because it's a bit ratcheted. I don't know if that's the right one. Technic joint, rotation joint. I could spell that right. So Matt, and Zissou and Missy, the last time you guys went to your Pick-a-Brick, did you get stuff because you had a project you were working on, or was it like a specific? That's not it. Thing you needed the parts for, or were you just like, oh, I just want to get some parts? Is this it? I think that's it, but it doesn't. It doesn't clip in. All right, so maybe I think it's this way, like that is what I'm seeing. So let's get rid of that. So this allows, okay, so this is this is still strong. What color can I give that? Oh, I can do white on that. Huh. That may solve a lot of issues because that could be that whole piece right there. Except I can't really add anything to it. But like if I wanted to put this in here. That'd be interesting. much is that? 11 cents for white. Huh, okay, so then I can connect this down to just like I could do this. Why won't that? See, stuff like this bothers me. I know that's an okay. Oh, you know why? Because the pins. Well, the pins should work regardless. So that's interesting. So this isn't a full pin. Yeah, my chat also isn't updating. And the texture gold 2x2 round bricks. Yep, I got a handful. Oh no, I didn't get those. I put those in the ones for the gift. What were you saying about minifig parts that you needed? I joined right in the middle of you describing the look what you're going for. So usually for a project I'm working on, I think most people do that. And it's every time I go, it's like, well, I might be able to use it for that project, but it's never really the thing I need for the project. Like right now, all I want is wedge plates. All I want is tan, dark tan, orange, not orange, dark orange, nougat, green, brown wedge plates, right? And those are like all the colors I don't have, basically. I have like a ton of grays, a ton of whites, blacks, like greens, reds, but not like earth tone wedge plates. Yeah, I did get a bunch of olive green wedge plates. I've actually used them in the MOC previously, so that was good. And then I had a ton of extra, but I'm only going to be able to use so much. Like each little plate's going to be like a biome or a half a biome, so I'm trying to like layer it. And I've got some good starting points, but it's all block. It's all bricks right now. It's not wedge plates. I think wedge plates gives a nice little gradual feel to it. Right now it's like squares. And I want it to be more organic and less like this is a video game, you know. What I was talking about was, so if I get this done in time, and I really have to start working on it more because I'm worried now that I don't have enough time to do it. I don't think 6 months is enough time to get this done. If I just get all the machines done, that's all I really care about, and I'll worry about the scenery part of it later. But in addition to the landscape and all the machines on it, there's only one Aloy figure, and she's going to get lost. So what I thought I'd do is, in a couple points on the map as well, have some other figures that, if aren't like 100% representations of people in the game, like Aaron or Varl or any of the other characters that she's run into, at least they look the part, right? They can have like fuzzy shoulder pads and like some metal headgear but like kind of tribal looking pants and shirts, and have them carrying spears and bows and arrows. And if I put them in clumps and have them kind of slightly the same color, like maybe a patch of them over here and a patch of them over here and like one or two in the middle. So it looks like the world is full of humans and machines and not just Aloy. So that's what I was talking about, is trying to find heads with like face. And Costello gave me a head, and now I don't know where I put it. So I'm a little bummed about that. Because I have so much crap. That was part of the week in between the holidays that I want to do, is just get this room figured out, because it's a nightmare. But things with face paint on them is good. Interesting hairdos are good. Things that maybe have mohawks on them are good. So that's what I was talking about. I want to know why this is not. being friendly with that. It won't let it twist all that much. So I don't know. Are there a lot of heads with face paint and realistic flesh tones? I don't know. Let's look it up. And this is the other thing. I might just go like mix and match and make a Bricklink order of like face painted heads. And then stuff like this. But yeah, there's one. So that's a good one. This is technically an orc or something, cannibal. That might be an okay one. That'd be a good one. That wouldn't be a bad one. That'd be an all right one. This is a mask, technically, I think. There's actually a character. Oh. I'm going to put Katalo in there. There's a character named Katalo, who he's voiced by this guy. And if you played any games in the past, Nasher Dalal, he has been voices in a lot of games, but that's what he looks like. And he looks mostly like his characters. Yeah, he was in Red Dead. He was in Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor. I got off on a tangent, but anyway, I like that because it kind of looks like him. I can have a Katalo figure. So that's one I could get. Doesn't have to be a ton. And then I could have some that don't have face paint on them because not everybody does. Oh, that'd be a good one. Is that, yeah, Captain Jack Sparrow. That'd be a good one. So yeah, there's some. Is that Hunter? I think that's Hunter. Yep. So whatever. So, but like, this is going to show nothing but Aloy, but she does wear a lot of different outfits. So this is kind of the aesthetic, right? There's some metal that you pull off of the machines that you use for your outfits, but it's, and these are different outfits you can get in the game. I think this is her standard. This is her outcast outfit when you first meet her. But then there's like all these other ones like you get in Meridian or you can get from some of the other tribes. And they all have, they all kind of look like each other a bit. Like the Nora tribe kind of looks all the same. And they very like blue focused. Meridian is very red focused. The Oseram are kind of brown and gold focused. But yeah, each one has kind of a different aesthetic too. They've got like these built Oseram are the delvers, the miners. They have these big belt buckles and kind of these big heavy leather skirts and pants and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to try to, and so I know that there's like outfit pieces that are, what are those called? Not skirts, but the, like katas, the things you wear from your hips that kind of drape down the sides of your legs. I could get a few of those, but yeah, anything that's got this kind of style or body paint kind of thing, torso. So I'm just going to play around, see what I can find. Thank you. So yeah. So back to this. Back to being stupefied by what I want to do with this. So this works. I'll play with this in real life, but it should work. It doesn't conflict. It's not going to have a whole lot of rotational aspect to it, but... And then we can put this guy here. And that won't be that big of a joint. And it'll still get us, that'll get us right here. And then I can go with this guy to make it go lower. So this guy can rotate like that. And that guy can rotate like that. And this is limited a little bit because it'll run into that beam. But it should be okay to about there. And this guy comes in just the dark blue gray, which is fine. And now I can do now I can do all this minus that. That should work. Why is this having a problem? I hate these things where it's like it just won't line up for you. Oh, perfect. In fact, on the back side here, instead of a grill, let's do the ingot. Yes, that's that shoulder. Nice. It's a little bigger than the rest of the head, but I'm okay with that. And then we will cover this guy. So I don't need this for now. Let's get rid of that. It is a very unique style, and I think that's what brought me to the game, because it felt like not only was it very lovingly recreated or very lovingly created out of really thinking about the world that was being built, but oh man, that's one job that I wish I was better at, or that I could get into, is costume design for video games. It just seems like such a rad thing to do. I have no idea how these are built out. Like, these legs make no sense. They just don't make any sense. I can't find a good image that does. Maybe this toy. Or this mini. I think this is as good as I'm going to get. All right, but this, I'm going to color that orange. Unless these are, yeah, do orange right there. And those aren't all black. What other color does that come in? Really wish that came in black, but that's fine. So let's see what's next. Yeah, Lego room cleaning. Still handing out lug sets. We got another meeting next year. Lug bulk, as far as I can tell, is not. I don't have any information on it. We usually have something by now, so that we can like kind of go over the holiday break, kind of getting ramped up, ready for it, in the ordering of in the new year. But nothing yet. A little distressing. So this looks like I'm going to do some brackets again. And then brackets. Tooth. That might keep it from rotating properly. This is a little much. We'll just skip it. That was not very chill. That was very amped. Maybe down here instead. Nope. Let's make these dark gray. And put another. That's going to get away in the way of that rotating. It's pretty good. Oh, guess what they added? Looky, looky, looky. They added that, so now I don't have to make my own. Hooray! It only comes in one color. Nice. It's always nice when they, like, get that part in there. When they get that new part that you've been waiting for in there. All right, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's nice to get. There was one other part that I was working on. It was that the chain. I really wish I could have got the. What's up, Mayo? So the new person who was doing the Animal Crossing. I have the hardest time remembering the phrase Animal Crossing. I don't know why, but I have the image of it. I know exactly what I want to say, but the word Animal Crossing never comes up into my brain. I just have such a hard time with that phrase. So anyway, the lady who did that, she and I were talking a lot about studio and stuff too. And because she's a graphic designer, so she's like, yeah, I know all about like CAD programs and stuff. I'm like, you would actually really like Studio then. She's like, well, I've dabbled in it a little, but it's just, I haven't got to, some fun parts yet. And I was like, we should totally do a thing, I don't know what. It's hard to do stuff together in Studio. I've never played Animal Crossing either. I started playing and then decided that wasn't for me. Okay, so now I just want to go straight back. I'm going to use these because it doesn't have to be hinged anymore. And can I turn it? I can't turn it. So it's going to have to be flat like that. But I was saying, I didn't get her contact information, but she's in the group now. So, and the funny part was She's like, we were talking about um, following YouTubers and stuff. She's like, don't you have a YouTube channel? I was like, yes. So she found it. She's like, oh, I'm already a subscriber. And I'm like, yay. More subscribers. Forge of Empires gamer myself. I do need another long-term game to play. Long-term, like you have to check in on it every once in a while, and you're building kind of your own thing. I don't know what Forge of Empires is. Let's see. This is the other thing, is these hands are like floppy, but like super strong. So I don't know how to do the fingers yet, and there's 4 of them. I was thinking, so I'm trying to think of another game that's like Animal Crossing, but isn't Animal Crossing. I think there's probably a lot of Sims type games out there where you build something and just kind of keep it up over time. But nothing's coming to mind right now. Something with 4 claws on the end of it is going to be really big Lego wise. There's this, but that only has 3. I could probably jam. I don't know if I can do 2 clips on one with this. I don't think that'll fit. Yeah. And I may have to make the call and be like, well, in this Lego model, he only has 3 toes. Because the only other alternative is to do like something. I have. So what Matt's talking about, reference image. Let's say this is the image that I'm using, right? So I can say save image, and I'll just put in my downloads. And then in the tool view, I'm trying to remember where it is. Add reference image. There it is. It'll put a background image behind what you're doing. So some people, I think, are going to be using these as, like, they'll use them as backgrounds for their models, which is fine. But like in this case, I can use it to check the scale of what I'm doing. So let's raise this up a little bit and get these guys out of the way. So like if I wanted to check, I'm kind of making exceptions because I don't really know how big the image is. I don't want to lock it. I want to resize it. Yeah, I don't know why it won't let me resize it now that I've set it. There we go. So probably about that big. So if I was making it as long as my thing here, it would be that long. So that's the length that I gave myself, because this is the length of the second biggest animal, which is the trampler. This is the thunderjaw, which should be the biggest animal. And this is somewhere in between. So that's the size I want to give it, right? So we'll make it that size. Give us plenty of leeway here, right? And then put it behind. And then we can line it up and see how we're doing. And not terrible. Obviously, I can shorten these chains a bit. But yeah, you can see this is kind of like we're scaling here. So the arms look like they're lining up okay. The head's probably a good shape. This area could be filled in a little bit. These can be shortened to about here, you know. So it's a useful tool. I'm so slow at Studio. I mean, it's not a hard program, but yeah, they've slowly started adding more and more to it. I know Vab's working a lot with rendering, so he can get some good renders. He's got a really killer machine that he can do renders. I can't. Even if I added another video card to, or a better video card, I don't think my processor is ready for the amount of rendering that I would need for like animation or something. So, but yeah, this is a good tool. The reference image. I think we're pretty spot on here so far. Pretty good reference points. This arm is a little big, I'm noticing, so I might try to trim that up. But also I'm trying to fit in what I may end up doing is like this middle section be a little thinner and the tail be a little thinner, because I have a feeling another joint back here is going to be kind of in the way. But you can hit one of the number keys to line it up. So this is a dead-on view without like being slightly skewed by your mouse movements. And yeah, the arm could be a little farther forward, but I've got this hinge to make his body move, so I'm okay it being a little longer. Just as long as it doesn't get much past here, right? Actually, it looks like I could... If that's how it's lined up, then... Oh no, that's fine. It's just a little slightly slower than that. But yeah, so this is kind of good. It's distracting now. But I may end up putting it back in there. I like being able to kind of go around it, and that image does kind of get in the way a little bit. I did. So like this should be lined up with the, and this is fidelity to your own creation. So this should be right here. That's where it is. And so then the photo would bleed a little over in the front to get the front of that. But so figuring out how to build my existing MOCs in Studio to create instructions, Rebrickable. So instructions, if you have questions about instructions, it's not hard to do instructions. There's not a lot of gotchas. Well, let me show you. Let me give you a kind of a quick rundown. I've got time and I've got nothing else to do. And that's kind of the whole point of me doing this, is for people to see. So if you got, I know it's like 3 a.m. there, but if you got like 5 minutes, I can kind of show you a real quick one. And we'll do an older, so let's see if I've done the instructions for, which ones have I done the instructions for? Strider. I think I did the Strider. So when you're building a model, let's say this is your model. Most people, I don't build with the idea of making like, how do I build this as part of the process? I just want to get it built, right? So then what I have to do is go back and create steps. And for each step, it's, the latest addition to the model is your step. That's fairly obvious. But if you build everything in Studio, just like I've been building with the Rockbreaker, there's no steps in here. I haven't been doing any steps, right? There's none. These are empty, or it's just coincidentally like it was a grouping that kind of got added in there. So there's no, I can get rid of these. They're blank, and you can see that right there. There's nothing in there. But this one submodel group just happens to be Aloy. She's not going to be in here anyway, so there's no steps. So what I end up doing is going through and creating, this is just how I do it. You can do it however you want. And if you like build from the ground up, like you're talking about like your car MOCs, those would probably be pretty easy to go, all right, step 1, I'm going to put in these 5 parts, which account for like the bottom of the car. And then I'll do step 2 where I'm adding a couple more pieces. You know, you kind of work on it a little bit, go, yeah, that's step 2. And then as you're building it, you can kind of make your steps, right? Whereas I will just build the thing and then have to go back and go, all right, what's my first step? So I go over here and go step 1, and I'll drop the pieces into it. Step 2. So I will end up, and I'll do it in the Rockbreaker real quick, where let's say, so step 1 would be alloy, but then like step 2 would be, and there's nothing in here, right? Step 2 would be, well, let's just say she's not in there. This would be step 1. Let's say step 1 is this big flat piece right here. Like most models start with a big flat piece, right? So I would take that big flat piece and I would drag it up from wherever it is into my first step. So now that's step 1. In order to see what that looks like as you're doing it, you turn on these glasses and it's your step view. So step 1 is just alloy over here. Step 2 is that big flat piece. And then step 3, you would do the same thing. Make a step, put some pieces in. Make a step, put some pieces in. So again, it's how you approach. If you know you're going to be doing instructions for it, maybe as you're building it in Studio, build it with steps in mind. Build it or design it knowing that after I do this one layer, which is how you're probably designing it anyway, I do a layer, then I'll move to another step and then do another layer and then do another step and another layer. And then your last layer is your wheels or your hood or your roof or, you know, whatever. Then you can go back and tweak it however you want, right? You can say, nope, this one, these pieces go in this step, blah, 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 blah. So once that's all done and your model is done, so that's what I did here. So if you look at all the steps, they go, you can see here how they were added. Each step is a different addition to the model, right? Until you get all the way to the bottom and it's all done. So the first thing after making your model is going into your instructions. Yeah, okay. I didn't make any changes, so I'm going to go ahead and go into it. This just recreates the process I was talking about. This is your first kind of step along the way. This will just verify kind of the process of the stepping of the instructions, right? Whereas in the model design phase, you may miss out on a stray brick that's hiding somewhere. You can't really see it in your steps for some reason. This kind of will help you see everything as though it were the instruction booklet. So here's your first step, and you can hit the D and A keys to go back and forth. So I hit D, you see that these are newly done. You know, there's your next one, there's your next one, there's your next one, there's your next one, there's your next one. What this model, okay, so this model has a good thing here. The legs are subgroups, right? You build a whole thing, you build your model, and then you build another little model, subassembly, and then you attach it to the main model. You go over here, build another thing, and attach it to the main model. So in the model itself, probably somewhere around here, I've got a sub model. It just means I've taken this whole thing, drug a binding box around it, and said turn into group. Sub model, create group, right? So now I have a group. So this is one group, right? It's one group. And that's its own step, because then in the instructions, it does look like a step-by-step process. So when I get to the leg here, I can view my steps, and then I can create inside that subgroup the steps to create this thing. So what that'll look like is then the step after, because it's a subgroup, the next step will be, and then attach it to the model, right? So then you go return to parent, and then you do all the legs. Same thing with the head. It's its own subgroup. And then this was a piece, I just had to include it because it's parts. But basically it attaches, you have to kind of, this thing doesn't bend the way, it doesn't have instructions on, or doesn't have the capability in the software to bend, but this piece bends around a bunch of stuff. So I just kind of illustrated that in the page instructions. So once this is done and you verified all your, you know, everything looks good, you come in your page design, and this is where you can put like a an image in front of your instructions if you're going to export them to PDF. And mine were small enough. It's a small enough model that I could do 3 instructions per page. You can change it to be 1 instruction per page, 2, 3, however many you want, right? So I just did a few per page because they're very simple. When you get to the legs, you can see, so that's the last part of the body. Leg is, let's start here, and it'll show you the whole submodel. Boom, boom, be done, right? And this should actually, yeah, and then it shows you attaching it. So this is kind of weird because the leg's done in this step. In this step is showing you attaching the leg. So that's what that is. You can also do something called callouts, where this probably isn't a great place to do it, but you can highlight this and say, or you can highlight the first piece of the group and say convert to callout. And instead of like page, like the instructions stop and you start building the subgroup, the model will still be there, and the call out is now a little bitty box that says this is how you build it, right? Don't know if I've got an example of what a call out would be versus a whole subassembly. Okay, so that is what's called a call out, that little white box up there that says, I'm not going to take subsequent pages to build that tree. I'm just going to show you it's 4 pieces. Put that together real quick and put that in there. So that's another thing you can do with the sub-assemblies is if you've got one that's 2 or 3 pieces, 4 pieces, you can make a little call out. So then, yeah, you go through, and this is where you arrange how you want it to look. You can move it around within the space. You can rotate how you're looking at it. You can rotate like how this looks, right? You can like flip it upside down. You can insert things like the symbol to flip stuff, right? Turn this around, it says. You can add text, arrows, you can change your guide, you can do colors, and at the end, you can do a bill of materials, which I usually do. I didn't do in this one, apparently. I don't know why. That's dumb. But let's say after this, I wanted to do a new page. And I wanted to delete page. I want to do a new page after this page. And then I could insert bill of materials. So these are all the parts that were used in the set. And you can scale this too if you don't want them to go across 2 pages. You can scale it, but then like everything gets smaller and maybe hard to read. But if you're putting it on Rebrickable already has the parts that you need kind of listed and how to buy them. So this isn't really necessary. But when I was doing the microfighters, I thought it was important to include because they were small enough to where you might already have all these parts. You don't need to buy anything. So you can get the instructions and then go through your parts on your own and go, yeah, I have all this. So that's something you could do. And like I said, you can add some text. And then you export it, and the export becomes a PDF, and it's not really complicated, but it does have some, oh, and this is new too, zooming in and out of your page so you can see it better. This didn't used to be a thing you could do, which I felt was hilarious. But you can change most aspects of this, the number, you can change the style of number, you can change how these boxes look. You can set this, like if you feel they're not going to see that this gets attached here, you can change that. You can change the buffer exchange. This is an old CAD term, and I don't honestly know what it means. So if you do activate buffer exchange, you can hit this arrow and have it say, I want to be pointed down here, right? You can change the arrow color and width, its location, all this stuff. You can change how the outline looks here. There's a lot of customization in your global style where you can change a lot of different things. Yeah, you can change the step number to be, whatever um, font you want. There's a lot to it. Yeah, and you can put like background images or gradient behind it, so every page has a different look. Um, what I'm going to start doing with mine is I'm going to start putting watermarks all over it, and I think you can do that. So you've got all these things, size guides, whatever, color guide. I think there's a way to do. Um, I thought there was a way to add a a watermark, but I'll have to look into that. And that'll just keep other sites like Alibaba from stealing your stuff because it'll have your information all over it. So, and if not, you can take the PDF and there's sites that'll convert a PDF and put a watermark on every PDF page just as long as there's a PDF page, that it can grab a hold of. So that's it, really. There's not a ton to it. I'm not going to save this at all. Um, and if you have questions about it, we got enough people here you can ask. Would love to help you out. But I do know that, and I'm going to get rid of these steps because I don't need them yet. That was one of the whole reasons that we got into doing our streams together with Vab and Johnny and Kodiak. Kodiak knows some of that because he does. Yeah, there's a global page editing. If you go into instructions, page design, global style, there should be a way in here. Like I thought the background would do it. Like if you filled the background, but it doesn't let you like pick an image. Oh wait, yeah, there it is, image. So yeah, you can put like if you have a watermark, you can put that as your background image. I don't think it'll go over the top of it. But you can at least have a background image that has your information on every page. Yeah, exactly. So that's fun. And it's really easy to do for smaller models. You can knock out instructions. You can knock out instructions in a couple hours for a 100-piece set, 200-piece set, couple hours. It's not that hard. Um, are you going to put Aaron? If I can, yeah, I like Aaron, but HCD Aaron, he's cool. I wanted to dress as him for Halloween. He's got a great costume. So you can find a full. If I just put Aaron, not just HZD. I can get a full body. This is a pretty rad costume. Got the chops, big chops. I could grow that out. Definitely just shave my head in a mohawk for a Halloween costume. The hard part's actually this shirt. You almost have to make that shirt. I looked for a while on trying to get the shirt, and the harder part too for a lot of these is gloves. Like you can just do arms, but like Lego doesn't really lend itself to gauntlets or they're not greaves. Greaves are the shins, but like you know elbow length gloves. They'd have to have a print on the end of the arm and then the same color hand. So most of the time it's just changing the hand color. And then best of luck to you. And the torso has to be printed a specific way, and you can get those commas in here. Let's see if he's got the Osram commas or skirts are these big metal. Maybe if I did outfit. 27385 for the hair. Aaron, let's say costume. Let's see if somebody's done a cosplay as him. I would think this would be very cosplayable. But yeah, he's got this big. I guess that's a comma too. It's just attached to the sides, and then he's got these big like leather pants and boots. Most Osram have these like big belt buckles or like belly buckles almost, which would be hard to do in Lego unless it's a torso print. So there's things you could do. But yeah. 27385. Yep, that'd be perfect hair. Black, come in black. It does. So I don't think I can get that head in studio, but we'll try it. Let's look up. Yep, perfect. Yep. So yeah, I could do that. So the problem with the torsos is how do you search without getting 12,000 parts? Like what keywords do you put in here that are like fantasy or I hate this one. I can't find my cursor. It doesn't break it up by that usually, but I mean that would be all right. It's got a crown on it. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. You know, a lot of these would probably work. You can just put in robes and armor and stuff like that and get a good kind of mix. And then like his sleeves are yellow and arm. Let's say right. And then you have to look for a print because there's a million parts, and then do maybe like more options. Yellow, let's say. And hope that there's like something in there that's got a stripe, like a vertical stripe. That's kind of what you have to do. And then if you don't, then you're like, well, okay, do I print these? Do I find somebody who could print these? You know, how can I kind of make it up as I go? So arm right stripe. Nope. Stripes. Yeah. Yeah, I got to pick the base color. Take care, Mayo. Get some rest. Good talking to you. So that's the thing that I'll be doing, as well as ordering all the parts for all the machines, building the scenery for it, and then occasionally keeping an eye out for fantasy, tribal looking outfits that I can use for like random, because I don't think I'm going to be able to recreate Varl or Erend. Because his outfit's really cool too. He's got this like fur thing and one big but you see what I mean about them using some of the metal and plastics and stuff as part of their outfits. There's also a character named Silence who has cabling throughout his body, and that's hard to reproduce, right? You have to specifically, it's like in his head. How do you recreate that? You know? And yes, that's Lance Reddick. Rest in peace. So it's very cool. I kind of wish Lego would do more of those minifigures, you know? All right, we got really distracted. And that's fine. I like getting distracted like that. We were talking about the arms, these claws. They are pretty big. So if I went modified plate, and I did like 2 of these together, and then I could do then I'd have to figure out how to taper them down, which is a challenge. So this kind of stuff in Lego bothers me so much. It doesn't allow really for very gradual adjustments or gradual shape changes. How big is that? Oh, that's pretty big. Let's see if that gives us any insight. Open image in new tab. So you can see how the wrists kind of go backwards a little bit and they kind of taper. It's a pretty good image of the arm there. Okay, I think we're good. There is new there are new pieces for claws, but I don't think... How big are those? Ooh. Slightly too big. There's new claw pieces, these, that I might just get a bunch of these. Because it looks like they're pretty much just... I don't really care if they're bendable too much. Because these come in black. And if I could figure out how to... So this isn't going to let me... Oh, you know what? Let's do something here. This is going to be... it's going to require a whole thing here. So let's trade this for this. And let's flip the... Nope, not that one. Let's flip this around. And that can be dark bluish gray as well. So we get rid of that. And then we can do a ball bar. We can do this. And then I can put something in here where that rotates on that. Like a Technic brick. Or... All right. So, got to get these two things connected now. I'm going to do... Since I can't make this gradual, the best I think I'll be able to do is like go from like a 3 to a 2 to a 1, but like what to cover it. So this can go into a lot of things. This also has to be a different color. Dark bluish gray. Because bars can go into a lot of things. My go-to for something like this would be just a Technic brick. But then the problem with the Technic brick is you can't flush. It can't go flush against this. Also, in order for it to secure against something else, you have to put plates on top and bottom. So it kind of limits, but you could do like that, and then this thing would kind of be like this. And I'm not entirely sure that that's not too big, but the size of the claw and the size of the head, I'm looking just on screen. It's goes up to that one. The head is still a little bigger. So I don't want to be bigger than the head. And this looks like it might be, so I have to be careful of this. But scale is scale. I've picked the scale and I kind of have to live with it. Yeah, head's slightly bigger. Let's put more flush against that. That's still good. Slightly bigger. Like I said, if I filled out the bottom of this somehow a little more, I think I could get away with doing that. So this is good. Let's go with that. And again, we have to figure out how to connect it. So other options are, well, let's see. Let me just do find compatible bricks and see what's available. Generally, Lego doesn't like it when you put a bar inside of the Technic thing, because it technically stresses it out. And it can sometimes ruin the bar piece itself. So I don't think they really like that, but you could also do these Travis bricks, which would give you the opportunity to also build off the other side. But again, you're limited to like the connection here. It can't go any farther than that, because then you have to be able to put a plate on it or something to secure it. It's usually James, guy in our lug, is such a big fan of these pieces for use with when I'm making legs and stuff. But two things, these are limited by like old light gray or red and yellow, or very expensive. Like one of these is $6 for the light gray, and then that's the newer one of the two. So I try not to use these. I think I tried using them in one model, and I'm like, I can't in good conscience make somebody pay $6 for one piece. So there's always the option of putting a Technic brick. Actually, you could do this like that. This would be slippery as heck, and that would need to be dark gray. No? Light bluish gray. Okay. I thought half pins came in different. I get one. There we go. Dark bluish gray. 13 cents versus, I think one of these is super cheap. Yeah. This one may be less slippery. So we'll have to see how that works. And I know it looks like these are glowing, but these are like, this is it with its parts highlighted, I think. Like, I don't think they're always glowing. In the game, you have the ability to R3, which does like a pulse scan, and it highlights the animal and kind of turns all its detachable components into like this bright orange glow, right? Like a wireframe glow around it, or just like a solid, I guess. And that's kind of what this looks like. But it also looks like those are like powered. Like that's not the same glow as this, but his paws aren't glowing right here. Excuse me. Maybe they are. But yeah, like right here, you can see they aren't. The glow when you're fighting it indicates what components you can. It's called tear, and you can basically rip them off before the thing dies. If the thing dies, you can't go back and pull the components off. You have to knock the components off while it's alive. Well, maybe it is. Maybe we can like have some fun with like trans orange color or something. Let's I still have to figure out how to like taper it though. Can I do hot orange? Just trans orange, not trans neon orange. Nope. I don't know how big those are in comparison. Uh Stick something in between like this. These are going to be very flimsy if I do it this way, but I don't know how else to do it. Maybe just those two. Is there another view of these paws from like the back or something? Looks like it's got this thing on top. I'm not convinced this is going to be any good, but all right. So with Christmas coming up, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, for those in the States, what kind of traditions are you looking forward to? Like, what does your family do that you are excited to do, and what ones are you not excited to do? I, for one, am looking forward to like drinking eggnog. That's kind of it for me. I love drinking eggnog. Um, it's one of my favorite things. I can't wait to get a new batch every year. Gotta go get some eggnog and some Kraken black spiced rum to put in it. I do like decorating. What's up, Scott? Thanks for joining us. I do like decorating, but this year I think I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to decorating. In order to get the floors done, we had to move like everything off every shelf in order to move the furniture. So everything that was off all the shelves is now in the garage, and it's perfect because it gives us an opportunity to go through and like, this is all trash. This is all garbage. We just haven't, moved. I'm gonna move this camera over slightly because it's blocking one of my views of one of the tools. A lot of the stuff that we moved to the garage is going to be thrown away, right? But it also is going to be one of these time consuming, go through each box and go, yes, keep, no, then move that stuff back or move it out or leave it in the garage or give it away or whatever. Meanwhile, it's all the boxes are under the attic ladder. So like I have to go through all that stuff just to get to the attic to pull down the stuff. I'm like, bleh. So I'm like, well, it's getting to be like the 10th. There's only 15 days till Christmas, and then I can leave them up another 2 weeks after that. So, I mean, is it worth it putting them up? Maybe. I won't have time this weekend. Maybe this week I'll work on it. It's one of those. Welcome back, Zisoo. So yeah, I do like decorating. Beth doesn't care about decorating. She's like, just do whatever you want. She's not a fan. There was a great blade. Oh, it's right up front. That would be perfect for this piece right here. If I can get it to clip on there. So yeah, what do y'all like to do? What's your favorite holiday thing to do? Maybe turn that around. Figure out how to attach this all. Is that getting a little big? It might be getting a little big. I don't think the paws are that big. He does have very big paws, but I don't know if they're that big. Well, maybe. Let's keep working with it. Thanks, Zisoo. Yeah, I was fairly proud with figuring that out. I mean, they don't spin, but the fact that I could get them at that angle and get them all in there. And then this was a stroke of genius. This is now the hushed maneuver or the hushed assembly. My friend in our lug, James, his screen name is Hushed something. And he came up with this where it's the differential joint or the universal joint. And you take one half of it off, but leave this ring in here. And then these chain pieces line up on these pipes. It doesn't snap on in studio, so I'm just kind of playing with it. But I think that just a brilliant maneuver. Finally building classic space. Yeah. Are you recreating old sets? Or are you just building in the style of? All right, so question. Notice how in a lot of these pictures you can see like this is a gray, but this is a whitish gray. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this all needs to be white. Like anything like this. Because everything that else that I've done, and to make this match the long the tall neck, this all needs to be white. I just realized that. So like that. I hope these come in white. That all needs to be white. I just remembered that. Not the gears. Oh, these are all okay. Submodel release. Nope, don't release. Just unlock that one. Technic gear, and that is dark gray. Okay, unlock. Unlock. Dark gray. Lock. Okay. Yep, that looks better. That was bothering me a little bit, I think. Yeah, I think it. Considering everything else I'm doing, that if it's questionably light grayish, then just keep it white. It looks like the tall neck. It looks like everything else. The Thunderjaw is all very white. I've been trying to keep that aesthetic, so it's like white and dark gray and some orange in there to kind of indicate some of these cables, because cabling is very very hard to do. I might throw a orange in there too, like right there. That's good. All right. Challenge has been hunting for parts, building sets for now. Nice. I did that a little bit because I still had all the instructions for my Futron sets. So I went through and tried to rebuild as many Futron sets as I could for a while. I may go back and redo that because then I took them all apart. But I had a lot of Futron sets. Didn't have a ton of classic space. Like all the classic space I got when we were kids was very much get it and build stuff with it like instantly. And then like you get rid of the parts when you're done, kind of thing. Or the parts go into a basket and they just become more parts. So I'm not totally convinced that this is going to work. I think this may be too long. I could always invert this and just put a round brick. Rebuilding sets is a lot of fun. I always have a good time recreating stuff from my childhood and things like that. All right, now I got to figure out how to attach all this, and then we'll be good. Oh, there's a new piece. There is the 1x2 brick stud. This guy. Hopefully that's not too big. I think that works well. Do I have my caps lock on? Okay, now this is going to be the hard part. Because it's not just little bars, it's these like... If these were bigger, I would do... See how they get slightly bigger as they go down the hand? So this is like a 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. There's also 4 of them, and I've only made room for 3. So maybe we get rid of this and do plate, but same color. Come on, man. Oh my God. Okay. Grab piece, drag piece to workspace. It's not the hardest thing in the program to do, but apparently you can move too fast for the program. Okay, this is going to be one out. Our allergies here in Austin also have been garbage this last couple days. Oh my God. Like so many sneezing fits, and I think that might be too big. I may go, what I'll do is I'll work on this side, and then the other arm will start fresh. We'll go from like here, and then we'll figure it out. Yeah, it's been like, and I'm not like a super allergy sufferer, but Beth's been sneezing and coughing a lot, and I just can't stop sneezing. And I mean, we had our floors ripped up, so I'm sure we're like all very susceptible. If this were bigger, this would be a perfect piece for that. But I need like something that's like that, but very small. Sometimes you get inspiration from the utensils. Sometimes. I say sometimes. Like a boomerang would be great. I don't know how to attach that, though. It also doesn't change shape. These would be pretty rad. They don't change shape, though. But they can go slightly, they can bend slightly toward the thing. Like that. So. Also, what color do they come in? I'm screwing myself with this, but they do not come in white. Awesome. This might be easily solved by doing like wedge plates or something, but I could even go farther in than that. This actually is not too bad of an idea. I just wish I could get them to be. There's also handlebars. Handlebar. These might be too big. Like how sometimes it's like, yeah, I will I'll make a conflict where you don't think one happens, and then other times you're like, no conflict at all. That works great. Of course, they don't have the same matching color. Light blue gray. Does this have light blue gray? Light blue gray. Okay. No, it's the same one. So if we got rid of that and that and two down. I did these two here. Maybe put that handle on the last one. Oh, it's afternoon. Whoops. All right, so I got distracted and carried away. But I think we made some progress. Learned a lot, made some friends along the way. Oh, that's not too shabby. That's going to be flimsy as heck, but it's not too shabby. Let's see if I rotate this. Oh, that's one thing. It won't rotate really well. Let's select all of it. See if I can rotate it. Sometimes. Yeah, that's as far as it rotates back. So this would have to rotate. This would have to spin a little bit. It's not bad. How do you verify joints can hold the weight? Well, there's two ways. You build it in real life. Take all the parts that you got and see already that can't work here. So rotate this back a little. There's also a stability option in here. This button up here, stability. It will tell you if you've got clutch power issues or stability issues. Stability meaning like they're slightly different. So the colors are hard to read here. But anything highlighted in red would be a problem. So you've got your clutch power problems, warnings, and cautions, meaning this may or may not work. Warnings meaning it probably doesn't work. But the green is like, it's fine, which I never look at this because most of the time everything's floating, right? So I have no idea. Like it doesn't highlight the things that are good. Like this should be good. This all up here should be good, but all it's doing is highlighting this one little area right here. It's like, I don't know. I don't think it's very useful. Now, if you're building stuff like this, if you're building maybe a building where there's walls and a roof and door frames and windows and stuff, that's probably, do I have anything like that? So let's close this real quick and then we'll call it a day. I don't know if I have something. Nope. Nope. So here's a house that I did for a friend of mine. This was not it. Should be finished. I think I freaked out the first time I did this because it wasn't finished. So this is my friend's house. I haven't seen him in a while. I need to find out how he's doing. This is just his house. He lives over on like 15th or 38th or something like that. He's got a nice house. He's very proud of it. So I made this for him. This is the first time I ever used. How old is this file, by the way? It's the first time I used hair for bushes. I thought that sometimes works. Like this anime hair works pretty good. The clown hair works pretty good. This looks like this one looks really great. This one looks like I'm actually got heads in the yard. But you know, it's all white gravel and stuff, so I think it worked out pretty good. And he's got this little, you know, bench in the backyard and stuff. So tried to keep it simple and not a lot of parts, but it ended up being 1,100 parts. And I told him, I was like, this is probably going to cost you like $200 to get these parts. But again, made instructions for it. So there's instructions, you know, and you go through all the instructions on putting all the plates down and everything. For the stability, this would be a better indication of it because it might illustrate some issues. So let's look at these issues. This is going to be an issue because because there's nothing really holding these together, right? So these are cautions. I think cautions and warnings. I'm not really sure the colors because it's hard to tell. Because there may or may not, I don't think there's a tube in here, if I remember correctly, but there is probably a tube up here, which is why this isn't a problem. This just means it might, you know, these round brakes generally don't have a whole lot of clutch, so you're not too worried about them. This giant flat green thing is like, yeah, that the base plates are great. They have no, you know, problems. So there's probably no stability issues. I don't know why, like suddenly one 2x4 tile has a problem, or these 2x4 bricks under here or plates under here have a problem, or these under here have a problem. What this usually means to me is that somehow during the model building process, they're not lined up right. Like you can kind of see here, there's a little bitty gap right here. So, for whatever reason, when I was building this, there's a lot of copy and pasting. And so that could help illustrate where maybe in the design, the copy and paste went funny. So if I turn this off, you can see like this could be moved up or down a little bit. And it's a problem with the brick underneath it, right? So that it can show that a little bit. Other than that, I really don't know. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your weekend. I hope to see some of you back on Thursday. I don't know I do know exactly what we're going to be doing on Thursday. I bought Beth an Everyone is Awesome set that she's going to build for her office. And then I've got like a Star Wars set that I can do. Kind of just I'll do Obi-Wan Starfighter along with her. So come Thursday, Beth will be building with me and you can all say hi and talk to her. And she will, I'm sure, regale you with stories of stuff she can't talk about for HIPAA violations. But yeah, we'll see you Thursday. Y'all have a great rest of your week. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.